way to how a train sits on the wheels of a train, sits on these perfectly parallel lines called train lines. One befits the other to perfection. And occasionally in life, I guess, there's a changing environment. We know the Earth is dynamic and it does change. And we have to learn to adapt, to make the most of sometimes limited availability of resources. So I guess human ingenuity is about all those things and about the cleverness of humanity to adapt. Of course, it's not always a positive, is it? We populate most areas of the planet and we've made life very comfortable for most humans on the planet. But of course, sometimes with the technology that's been developed, it creates its own set of problems. For example, climate change, pollution, difficult areas which the Earth might reject or eventually will rise up against, which nature will. Nature will always have its way with us. But whether we are on a path to sustainability of the growing human race is a matter, I guess, for another discussion. But for the moment, we're looking at the brilliance, the cleverness of human ingenuity. And we could look at perhaps three areas. We could look at agriculture, where great strides have been made forward, which have grown, we can grow more food to feed ourselves, to feed other people on the planet. The infrastructure, the incredible infrastructure that we see around us, not just today, but when you think of the debts we owe to our ancestors and the way that they could build these incredible buildings, which they didn't have even the technology, anything like it that we have today. And we see that in other areas, like, for example, the building of aeroplanes. If we take Concorde as a particular example, the design of which was started in the 50s and then completed during the early 60s. It first flew, I believe, in 69. But it was all done by slide rule. It wasn't done by computers. You think of the precision involved in an aeroplane generally, but particularly with what Concorde could do, flying supersonically. All of those calculations were made by humans and slide rules. And it's quite something to look at a slide rule and see what's on it. It's talk about mind blowing. But yeah, so we owe our forefathers huge debts, not just in technical things like Concorde, but with infrastructure, with buildings, and so on. So so that's the thing. And another one, of course, is medicine. Medicine is great strides have been made for the betterment of humankind. We think of things like, I think Rose said about vaccinations, illnesses which have largely been dealt with have disappeared, like, I guess, polio and smallpox, all because of human brilliance at, creating vaccinations that would actually do that. So there's many areas that we can look at, not all perhaps leading to the sustainable planetary situation we want, but all of which are a testament to how humans have got this brilliance, which when we use it for brilliance and not for destruction, it's a great asset to have. One example, perhaps, if we're looking at medicine, will be Marie Curie. Any thoughts, either of you, on what she achieved? Do you know much about Marie Curie?
I wrongly used to think Marie Curie was responsible for penicillin, which obviously it's not. It's Alexander
Fleming. Yeah,
Fleming.
Fleming.
And now it's just actually, it's gone out of my head. So you'll have to refresh my memory on. My head. So you'll have to refresh my memory on what she was responsible for. And that isn't because I don't know it. It's just because my old brain sometimes will not produce what I wanted to produce at the time I needed.
What about you, Cuz? Do you know anything about Marie Curie?
Well, I thought it was a magazine.
Oh, no.
I do.
Okay, well, let me just
Yeah.
go
Well,
on.
what it is, it was the X-ray. It was
Yeah,
the
that was yeah,
X-ray. It was
that was a big part of it.
yeah,
She was born in Poland, actually,
yeah,
although
Right.
operated very much in France. She was born, I think, in 1867, but she was a remarkable woman
yeah, she was.
for her work. She was given a Nobel Prize for medicine. But in the war, she was incredible. Now, let me briefly say that what she did, she kind of discovered the concept of radioactivity.
Yeah,
With all that meant. She discovered the elements of polonium, which was actually named after her home country, Poland, polonium and radium, the two pretty lethal radioactive elements, but which are used to actually cure cancer. They kill cancer cells.
Wow.
So what that woman achieved is quite phenomenal. Talk about human ingenuity. At great risk to herself, although she didn't die young. I think she was about 66 when she died in 19, I can't remember, but anyway, sometime in the 1900s. She died of radiation-induced leukemia as a direct result of her work. But yeah, maybe her greatest invention was the X-ray, and it was in its earlier development during the First World War. And she and many other women, they took what they called the petite curies, which mean small X-ray machines, and she took them out to the battlefront, where these machines could locate the bullets, the fragments in somebody's body, in a soldier's body, and if he got a broken leg or broken arm. And so they were able to do brilliant curing or helping, saving work of the troops. And you think how routine for us is going for an X-ray. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? What somebody had the ability and the foresight to, at a time, let's face it, way before we have our computers or anything like that. But the brilliant mind of Marie Curie, as I say, she got the Nobel Peace Prize. There used to be a Marie Curie hospital in London. I don't think that still operates. I might be wrong, but I think there is the Marie Curie Hospice that certainly operates. I think in Hampstead or somewhere. But yeah, someone who did great things for the people of the world, really, when you think we all benefit from that.
Mm.